Hi, this is Mrs. Stevenson, and this is Mr. Adrian, and we'd like to talk to you about Lab 1 for CSI. In this lab, we're trying to figure out what 1 part per million looks like, and we're going to do it with some simple supplies. So let me show you what you need first. You're going to need to find a cup, and it can be any size cup, but a small one is best. It doesn't have to be a clear cup at all. You're also going to need a source of water, so it's probably a really good idea to do this close to a sink. You also need enough sugar to fill your cup halfway full, and if you aren't using a sink, then you need a bucket, which we lovingly refer to as the slop bucket. I'm going to mark the halfway point on this cup, which will not be exactly in the middle because this cup isn't a perfect cylinder. I'm going to eyeball it because it's not really that critical. So this is what I think half the cup is. And I'm going to fill it halfway with sugar. You can just use ordinary sugar from your kitchen. If you don't have sugar at home, you can come to the lab and get some, and we'll send you home with sugar. Okay, that's about halfway full of sugar.
About halfway. About halfway.
Okay. Now I'm going to fill the rest of this cup with water. It helps if you use warm water because I've got to dissolve all the sugar in this cup. I'm going to fill it all the way to the top, and then I need to get something like a spoon. I'm using a stir stick, and I'll simply stir this up. Now this takes quite a while, so Mr. Adrian has one that's already been stirred up, and we're going to use that one for the experiment. Okay, so this one you can see has already been stirred up, a little bit of the sugar settled out. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start diluting it. This is 1 part sugar per 1 part water, so this is 1 part per 1. I'm going to dump approximately half of this out down to my line. That's pretty close. Okay, I've got about half of it out, and I'm going to fill the other half with water. Now this is a 1 part per 2 mixture. Stir it up a little bit. Make sure all the sugar is nicely dissolved. And then I'm going to taste it, and that is very sweet, so I can taste the sugar. Now I'm going to keep doing this over and over, dumping out half the water and replacing it with half fresh water. So I dumped out half the sugar water. I'm replacing it with half fresh water. Give it a little stir and see if you can still taste the sugar. As you do this, you need to be recording your results on your lab sheet. So be sure you have this printed out or take notes, and you can put it on the lab sheet later. You also probably want to have the instructions for the lab just in case you don't understand a step. I'm going to do this over and over until I can no longer taste the sugar. As soon as I can no longer taste the sugar, then I know that I've reached the limit of my taste buds' ability to detect things. But of course, in forensics, we could detect things down to a part per million, sometimes to a part per billion or a part per trillion.